Let's set up a TikTok live stream using Streamlabs desktop for PC or Mac. This is a complete beginner's tutorial. We will be following streaming best practices throughout. And to start with, there is two ways to unlock Streamlabs for TikTok Live. The first method is to get a stream key from a free-to-join agency. This is my recommended method because the agencies can also provide you with training to help you become a better streamer and creator. And they can also protect you if you are falsely banned because they have direct access to TikTok staff. So on my website here, I've made a verified and vetted list of agencies, and I'll put this on screen in the description and in my bio. Once again, they'll help you get a stream key, which you can just put into Streamlabs. We'll show that later. Alternatively, there is an application page where you can unlock Streamlabs streaming, and I'll put this link on screen and in the description as well. For this tutorial, you do not need Streamlabs Ultra, but it does have some additional features such as extra graphics. And if you do choose to upgrade to Streamlabs Ultra, you can use my affiliate link to get a free trial. But as I said, it's not required. We can do this mostly for free. And we're going to start before we download Streamlabs anywhere on the streamlabs.com website. Once again, if you'd like to support, you can click my affiliate link regardless of whether you sign up for Ultra. And if you haven't signed up, click sign up. If you have, click login. And what we're going to do is we're going to head to streamlabs.com/dashboard. We're going to click on our profile picture in the top right corner. We're going to click on account settings. We're going to head to platforms, and you're just going to link any platform that you want to stream on using Streamlabs. This is both landscape and vertical streaming. If you are going to use the stream key option, you don't necessarily need to link TikTok here. We'll enter it into Streamlabs later. Anyway, anywhere on the Streamlabs website, you should see this button to download Streamlabs, again for PC or Mac. So go ahead and download it and run through the installer, and let's open it. And of course, yours will not yet be looking like this, but let's set up a professional Streamlabs live stream for TikTok Live and multi-streaming if you want it for things like Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. And most importantly, we're going to enable what you see here, which is two canvases, by clicking settings in the bottom left, heading to the video option, and in the top right corner, make sure enable dual output is checked. So you can see once it's enabled, it changes the text to disable dual output. And if you can't see it, you might have to press done. And you can also go ahead and copy these other settings for horizontal and these settings for vertical. It's probably added them by default anyway. Now again, press done if you can't see the dual output. All right, so let's set up a professional stream. Let's show the viewers things like our camera and our computer display. So for best practice, I'm going to start by clicking this drop down, manage scene collection, and I'm just going to start fresh and give this a name. Name it whatever you want, for example, TikTok Live plus multi-stream or whatever platforms you're streaming on, and press OK. And I'll now press close. And we've now got two blank canvases to set up. And let's start most importantly by adding our audio. So we're going to click on settings and head to the audio tab. Underneath desktop audio device 1, this is our headset. So I'll add my Cloud 2 wireless. Underneath mic, I'm going to add the correct microphone. For me, that's my quadcast. We're also going to add a filter to the quadcast. So let's press done for now. You can see in the volume mixer, the bars moving up and down. I'm going to press the settings cog next to the quadcast, click on filters and press edit filters. I'm going to add a filter. We're just going to add noise suppression to remove things like your computer fans. So I'll press add, I'll change it to RN noise, and we'll press close. And then if you watch this microphone bar here, you can tell the noise suppression's working because when you stop speaking, it will literally show nothing. And of course, you can test that you've added the correct speakers. Well, really, it's your headset by just playing any audio such as this video, and the bar will move. So now let's show the viewers things such as our computer display and our camera. And what we'll do is we'll set up the two most common things that we see on live streams. That is just the camera on its own and the camera and your computer. For example, if you want to show your game or whatever else is on your computer screen. So firstly, you can see it says scene in the bottom left here. I'm going to rename this one. And we'll make this one our full camera. So I've named it full camera and press done. And now I'll press the plus button to add a new scene. I'll name this one camera plus computer display. You can name it whatever you want and press done. And we can now click between the two. Let's click back onto full camera. While you're live, you'll be able to click between the two and the viewers will see whatever is in this. So of course, we need to now add our camera to the full camera display. We're going to add it to both vertical and horizontal. Of course, for TikTok Live, if you're not going to go live anywhere else, you would just focus on vertical. But for best practice, for example, you can use the landscape canvas to record or to stream somewhere else. We'll add it to both. So where it says sources, let's now press the plus button. There is so many options here, but you want video capture for your camera and press add source. You probably want to give it a more sensible name. For example, the name of your camera, I'm going to add my Logitech StreamCam. So it's found the camera, but has added it as a lower resolution. So underneath resolution FPS type, I'm going to change it to custom, and I'm going to choose the 1080p option, and I'm going to set it to the maximum FPS it has. And then usually these other defaults further down are fine. So we will press close. And now you can see, and you can click between the two, I've got the camera in the horizontal, aka landscape canvas, and in the vertical output. It's added it correctly in the horizontal output and kind of incorrectly in the vertical output. Let's look at how to alter that. So there's a few ways you can change what it looks like. You can drag the corners of these squares to resize it. Sometimes it's a bit buggy. There you go. So you can drag like that. You can of course click on it and drag it around. If you want to crop it, you can hold Alt and drag any of the squares. For example, crop it like that. You can also right click transform and choose any of these options. So I'll fit this one to screen. Of course, it was already fitted to screen. And we can now click on it in the vertical output and do something similar. So for example, I'm going to drag it down, and then I'm going to right click transform and center it perfectly horizontally, so the camera is now perfectly centered. And if you do want to hide something from landscape or hide something from vertical, you just click the appropriate buttons. And as a best practice, I recommend when you think it's fully set up, click the lock icon. And now if I try and drag things, I'm trying to click on it, I can't click on it, which means you don't accidentally click on things and move things around while you're live. So later on, we'll add alerts. For example, we'll put the names of new followers or new superfans or new gifters on the screen. But for now, let's set up the other scene first by clicking on Cam plus Computer Display. And let's start by adding our computer display. There's a few ways to do this, but let's start by clicking the plus button under these sources. I like to keep it simple by just showing everything on the screen. If you want to focus it on one window, you could choose Game Capture or Window Capture. But I'm going to choose Display Capture to show everything on one of my computer monitors. You give it a relevant name for whatever monitor it is and press Add Source. Capture method automatic is fine. Display, find the correct monitor. Make sure you capture the cursor unless you really don't want to for some reason. Don't force SDR and press Done. And you can see, again, we can click between landscape and vertical. Of course, once again, it's properly added it to horizontal, and we can move it around vertical. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have my camera in the top third. Again, you can place the layout of your stream however you want it. And then there's two options. So you have your camera in the top third, and some people would fully shrink the computer display to show the vertical viewers everything on the computer display, something like that, and then you would put it in the middle of the screen. Some people will cut the corners off and put the computer display in the bottom 2/3 like that. You can also add multiple displays on top of each other and then crop them down holding the Alt key, for example to show a minimap or something like that. But I'll keep this simple layout where the computer display is in the bottom 2/3 and the camera is in the top third. So I'm happy with its positioning on both canvases, so I'll lock it into place. And now it's a bit easier to add our camera in because we've already added it to Streamlabs. So we press the plus button, choose video capture, add source, but it's already there. So we just click on it and add source. And of course, we do need to resize it in both places now. So let's click on the camera in landscape. We're going to shrink it down. Oops, I keep misclicking. We'll shrink it down and you add it wherever you want on the screen. I like to put it in the left side of the screen. I like to offset it a little bit. You can also right click, transform, and this time I'm going to center it vertically. And I'm going to use my arrow keys, and this moves it pixel by pixel, and I'm just going to move it a little bit to the left. And of course you have to change it on the vertical canvas as well, so I'll just drag the corners in, and I'm in the top third. You can see there's a bit of black space, so we're going to unlock the monitor and just drag it up a bit to fill in the black space. Worth noting at this point that the order of the sources matters. The sources at the top of the list will display over the sources beneath them. As you can see, I'm kind of dragging up my monitor and it's kind of beneath the camera. You can just drag them if you want to swap the places, but this is fine for me. So we've got two basic scenes set up now. Let's just lock everything into place. And again, we can click back and forth between them, and you can do this while you're live. Now, for some people, they might just be happy with this and they might just go live with this setup. But like I said, we're following best practices here. So you want to encourage engagement in your live stream by adding alerts for things like new follows, new gifts, new superfans. And for TikTok Live, we're going to use TikFinity, and I'll put the link on screen and in the description. It should be in some of my bios as well. If you are on Windows, click the download for Windows option. If you're on a Mac, click on the web app option. And once you've opened TikFinity, we'll do some basic setup, and then we'll set up our alerts. So you're going to start by clicking on the setup page. Of course, make a TikFinity account and then add in your TikTok username. If you're on the Windows desktop app, also click on TikTok login on the left and just make sure you've logged into TikTok. It's probably prompted you to do that anyway. And then there's so many options here on TikFinity, but we're going to scroll down and find actions and events. If you get this pop-up, press yes. If you can't see it, where it says click here to import predefined alerts, press that instead. And if you can't see that, delete everything on the actions and events page and then just click off the page and back on. What we're going to do is add TikFinity's predefined alerts. I then suggest you go through them and customize them to make them unique for your own stream. I'll also share my longer TikFinity tutorial at the end, but for now, press yes. And you can see in the background, TikFinity has instantly added alerts for follows, gifts, likes, and subs, aka superfans. It's given us this link, so we're going to click it to copy it to our clipboard and press OK. If you can't see that link, scroll down and it's this screen 1 link here, so click on it to copy it. And this is going to help us add the alerts to Streamlabs. So let's head back into Streamlabs, and we're going to have to add it to both full camera. Well, you don't have to, but I recommend as a best practice you add it to both full camera and computer display. So let's start on full camera. One of these sources, click on the plus button. We're now going to add a browser source and click add source. Give it a relevant name. I've called it TikFinity Screen 1 Alerts, and press add source, and then just overwrite the URL. I'm going to double click it, Control V to paste it in. It will show basically nothing for now. That is correct. We usually have to play around with the dimensions. Let's try 600 by 300 to start with. Streamlabs gives us some good defaults. The most important one is to shut down source when not visible, so it doesn't play if you switch to another scene. Let's press close. Again, there's not much to see, but we can click on it and it shows where the alerts go in this rectangular space here. So you just drag it around on each screen. Again, if you don't want to show it, for example, in landscape, you can hide it from landscape by pressing the hide option. It's now hidden from landscape, even though there's still an outline. I guess that's a bit of a bug. Anyway, it is hidden from landscape here, but I'm going to show it in both places. So I'm going to re-enable it. And then again, just keep dragging the alert around, and this is where it will show on the screen. For example, once again, you can right click, transform, center on screen if you just want to center it. You choose where your alerts go. And now let's look at how to test them. So let's go back into TikFinity, and we're going to do a bit of juggling here so we can see both TikFinity and Streamlabs. I'm going to scroll down in the event simulator, just press one of these simulate buttons. So for example, simulate follow. You can see it's popped up on the screen in both landscape and vertical. And you can simulate all the different options. So here is me simulating a superfan, aka subscription. To be honest, I think the dimensions we've added are okay. But if you think the dimensions look weird, just double click and you can tweak the dimensions here. And as you can see inside this preview in Streamlabs, we can also preview what the alert looks like here as well. And there is a much longer TikFinity tutorial on my channel. I recommend you customize them yourself, make it unique for your live stream. To customize it, you press the pencil icon against each action and look at all the different options you have. You can do any of these things when you get something like a sub, follow, gift, like, etc. And just as another note, if you want to turn any of them off, for example, turn the likes off, you can just toggle it underneath the events. Or for example, you can press the pencil icon and increase the number of taps to trigger the alert. As I said, we need to add it in both places. So let's now click on camera plus computer display. And now it's already saved into Streamlabs. So you press the plus button, choose browser source, press add source. It's already there with the correct dimensions. So we just need to click on it and once again, place it wherever we want. We might want it in a different spot on this one. So for example, I might want to put it at the top in landscape and over my face in vertical. Once you're happy with its placement, you press lock so you don't accidentally click on it. Let's follow as a best practice and lock it in the full camera one as well. And if you're going to stream on other platforms, we are of course using Streamlabs, which is most known for its alerts. So let's add in Streamlabs' own alerts for Twitch, Kick, YouTube, I guess Facebook as well if anyone's still streaming there. Press the plus button, choose the alert box option, press add source. The name alert box is fine. You might want to change the name to Twitch, Kick, YouTube, whatever you're streaming on, press add source. You can go through all of these options. You can also customize it on streamlabs.com/dashboard, which is where I like to customize it. Of course, mine's already been customized, so I'll just press close. You can see we can click on the alert box. So this is alerts for platforms that are not TikTok. And once again, we can resize it and drag it around, place it wherever we want, for example on the right here, further down here. And once again, as a best practice, when you're happy with your non-TikTok live alert placement, you can lock it into place. And for example, if you want to hide it from your TikTok viewers, I would just click this button to hide it from vertical. And once again, let's add it to both places as a best practice. So I think you know what we're going to do by now. So we'll just rapidly do this, add in the alert box. It's already there, so add existing. And once again, just place it wherever you want it on the screen. Shrink it down if you want to shrink it down, and lock it into place when you're happy with it. And speaking of happy, if you've reached this far in the video, you're probably happy with the video content. So if you found this valuable and you want to support my work even more, then you can check out my Live Success Academy Patreon page. We have over 40 posts packed with advice from what I've learned over 5 years as a streamer and a content creator. So check that out on screen, in the description, and in my bio. Alright, so now we've got a pretty good stream set up and we have engagement alerts, but it's lacking a bit of polish right now. What do I mean by that? I mean we don't have any custom graphics. For example, we don't have a webcam border. So let's look at how to add custom graphics. Now, one of the perks of using Streamlabs is they will provide custom graphics for you, and they'll provide even more if you're using Streamlabs Ultra. So once again, you can try a free trial with my affiliate link. Regardless, let's click on overlays on the left-hand side, and we'll start by clicking on the scene overlays. And if you're looking for free overlays, click on advanced search and type the word free into the box. I'm going to click back onto the homepage, scroll down and click on the TikTok and Shorts friendly overlays. And for now, we'll kind of pick a random one. Let's choose the mirror one here. And all you have to do is choose select and install, and you can choose what you want to add. Let's just add everything and press install. And it will take a few seconds. But as you can see, it's now installed a whole new set of scenes and sources. For some reason, the camera starts by lagging. If you want to head back to your previous ones, you just press the drop down and you can click back onto what we previously set up. So don't worry, you haven't lost what we set up. And unfortunately for a lot of Streamlabs' overlays, you will have to click through all the different scenes and you'll probably have to edit some of them. For example, on the stream starting soon screen, we'll have to click on this one and expand it to fully fit the screen. In fact, I've clicked on the wrong one, so let's click on the correct one and expand it to fully fit the screen. But anyway, you might have to go through each scene and edit it slightly to tweak it and get it looking the way you like it. Again, don't forget some of them are hidden on particular canvases. So that is Streamlabs' own overlays. Let's look at other ways to get overlays. So let's head back to our previous setup. So let's look at 3 more ways independent of Streamlabs to get graphics. And we'll start with fully personalized and customizable graphics from artists on Fiverr. And if you want to support my work as well, you can use my Fiverr affiliate link while visiting Fiverr. So I've just searched for overlay. You can just click the link and it will open this page. And there's artists of all prices who will make you custom overlay graphics for your live stream. And we'll look at how to add graphics in a second, but let's look at 2 more options to get graphics. So another option is canva.com, where I'm just going to search for the word overlay, and you can see a ton of different overlays have now popped up. Of course, you will have to find a vertical one or edit it yourself for TikTok. And of course, in 2025, it is possible to generate graphics using AI such as ChatGPT. So you can see here, it took me a few attempts to get what I wanted. I started by asking it to draw me a transparent 16:9 webcam border for my live stream. It drew this pretty bland one which said live stream on it. So of course you just talk to it like a human until you get what you want. For example, here is a multicolored webcam border. So now let's look at how to add whatever graphics you've got to your live stream. For example, let's add this border. So let's head back to Streamlabs, and underneath the plus button on sources, if you've been given a moving set of graphics, then you would add it as a media file. If you've got an image like me, I'm going to scroll down and choose the image option and press add source. Of course, give it a relevant name. I'll choose webcam border and press add source. And then of course, just click browse to find where it is and press done to add it. And you can see it's now added on both screens. Once again, you can toggle it on and off. For example, here, let's just add it to the horizontal output. So I'll hide it from vertical. I'll click on it and we can just resize it using these options, and then just keep fiddling around with it until it's perfectly placed. Don't forget, you can use the arrow keys to refine it pixel by pixel, but this looks fine to me, so I'll lock it into place. And now we've got a nice webcam border. Of course, just repeat that process. Click between any scenes where you want to add any custom graphics. For example, if you have a starting soon screen, then you would make a new scene to add that and add in the image. and you now have a more professional live stream setup. So before we go live, let's just double check some of the settings. So on audio, these options look fine. You just want your headset and mic, and these top two options look fine. Clicking onto output, this is not a good video bitrate. Let's set that to 6000. Oops, I've accidentally clicked off it. Set it to 6000. This is not a good encoder. These are terrible settings. So use the NVIDIA NVENC H264. That's basically a hardware encoder. I keep clicking off it. So now these are good streaming settings. You can customize recording if you want. The replay buffer lets you easily clip things, so I might raise that to 60. And there'll just be a button at the bottom when you're live, and it will save a clip of the last 60 seconds. Let's click onto video. We already set these, but if you didn't, you can copy both of these. These are fine. And then heading into stream, again, we set this at the start, but you can link all the different accounts you want to stream on. And importantly here, if you have a TikTok stream key, you're not actually going to use the TikTok option. You're going to press add destination and then add your URL and stream key. So that changes every time. It's provided by this page, but you can only unlock this page by joining a free to join agency. You basically ask them to unlock this page and you press go live to generate your stream key. You won't actually be live, but you would then copy and paste the stream key and you would place it here. Again, the stream key is going to change every time and you probably want to give it a proper name like TikTok live stream key. So now we have good settings. Again, the most important one was not this page. Well, actually it is this page. Further up was the video bitrate between 6000 and 8000 and the encoder on a hardware encoder, typically the NVIDIA one. So press done to save all your settings. And now you can see I'm kind of hiding it. Bottom right corner, press go live. And most importantly in the bottom left corner, enable dual output. And then you click on these toggles to choose whether you're streaming landscape or vertical on each platform. And of course you can just toggle each option on. And of course you can update the relevant metrics for each platform. Of course you confirm and go live to go live. And the chat will appear on the right hand side here. And I believe Streamlabs covers all of Twitch, Kick, YouTube and TikTok Live. I think Facebook as well. As I said earlier, I strongly suggest you customize TikFinity even more. So I'll put on screen and on my channel my full length TikFinity tutorial. And again, if you need more details about getting a stream key to use Streamlabs, I'll put that video on screen and on my channel as well.